welcome to First Unitarian. Please rise in body and spirit as we sing, "We'll Find Joy in the Morning."
Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Rochester. I'm Reverend AJ. I use he and him pronouns, and I'm one of the ministers that serves this congregation. This congregation is church. It's not a time on Sunday or a building or a particular place in that building, but it is people with a purpose. And our purpose, our mission here at First Unitarian is that through spiritual connection in community, we listen deeply to others and ourselves. We open to wonder and transformation, and we serve together with love and humility. If you are new or new-ish here with us, I invite you to stop by our welcome desk to let us get to know you a little bit better and help you get connected around here. If you are here because you are going through a hard time or you are worried about somebody else who is, please reach out and connect. We have a lay pastoral care associate, Elise, who is available in the sanctuary or during or after worship service. In Unitarian Universalism, we are held together, like I said, not by a building or a certain way of gathering, but by our mission, our purpose, our values, and our covenants, our promises that we make to one another, rather than a shared specific set of beliefs. And so our association articulates those values as love being the central value and the center of our values. And then there are 6 values that help us explain what we mean by that and what we mean by love. And also these values can only be understood in the context of love. And so to explore and deepen our relationship with these values, this whole church year from September through next August, in fact, we will be exploring every 2 months in our seasonal themes, our liturgical seasons, 2-month seasons. We will be exploring these values. And so we begin in September and October with our harvest season exploring generosity. So it being September 1st, we are kicking off on a great start. I'm very excited, delighted, in fact, to welcome our guest preacher, Jan Gartner, who's a longtime member of our congregation and former staff member here, to lead us in worship about generous laborers. We've also got Amanda helping me out, and we're going to do a backpack blessing for the children and everybody here, and Pablo and the choir, and we've got the AV team, and all of you here coming together to make worship possible. And I have to note that this is the last Sunday that we will be gathering in this space in Gilbert Hall. So next week we will be having our annual animal blessing service. So we'll be outside on the east lawn, just sort of out those windows. Bring your furry friends to receive a blessing. In case of rain, we will be indoors in the sanctuary, but hopefully we'll have good weather. And then on September 15th, we will have our homecoming service, the kickoff to the church year. We will be back in the sanctuary. We'll be back at having two services, 9:15 and 11:30, with connection in between. So that's the next couple weeks, returning to this place and this time and these people. I invite you to take a centering breath as we acknowledge with respect the Seneca Nation, keepers of the Western Door, and part of the Haudenosaunee people on whose ancestral and contemporary lands First Unitarian now stands. And we will begin our worship by lighting the flaming chalice, symbol of our faith. I should let you know of a minor correction in the slide that you'll see. It will say the glories and the mysteries. So there's an additional article in there. But I wanted to let you know and make that change because Jan is preaching for us, and she's the one who pointed out that minor correction a number of months ago. So keep an eye out on what the slide says. And Amanda will light our chalice as we say our unison words. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift.
Once upon a time, in a wisdom story, a young woman was relaxing with a basket of nuts and berries by her home at the edge of a forest. Along came a sharply dressed business lady. "Excuse me, young woman, what are you doing just lazing around there?"
Well, I've picked some nuts and berries to sell at the market and to feed my family today. So I'm just relaxing for a little while. And then I'll go home and read some poetry and play with my son and practice cartwheels. You know, all the things I love to do.
Yeah, but instead of just relaxing, you could be picking more nuts and berries to sell.
Why would I do that, though? Then I wouldn't have time to read poetry.
Yes, but you'd have more money. And then you could hire workers to help you pick even more nuts and berries to sell.
I don't get it. I have what I need. Supervising workers would mean I wouldn't have time to play with my son.
Yes, but you'd have enough money that you could buy machines that would help you package and label all those nuts and berries so that you could sell them in stores all over the state.
That sounds like a lot of work. Really a lot of work. Then I definitely wouldn't have time to practice my cartwheels.
But you'd build a nut and berry empire. You would have all the money, more than you'd ever dreamed of.
I just don't understand. Why would I want to do that?
Well, because then you could retire and spend the rest of your days relaxing and doing all of the things you love to do, like reading poetry, playing with your son, and practicing cartwheels. And I think, friends, that this is why we come to church. To be reminded that spending our time on people and activities that we truly love is a way of living our values. And I invite you then to turn to someone sitting fairly near you, but someone you have not yet gotten to know, and share with them one or two ways that you like to spend your time, love to spend your time.
Thank you all for generously engaging with one another and sharing how you like to spend your time. Hopefully you like spending your time in worship as well as talking and engaging with each other. Now, I don't have a story to tell for the kids, as might often be at this point in the service. We will do the backpack blessing a little later in the service, but to prepare all of us to receive that blessing, I invite everyone here, including all the children, into a time of meditation, reflection, and prayer before we have our ritual of community care. For these words of prayer from the Reverend Elizabeth Mount. Great mystery which grounds us and surrounds us, divine presence known by many names and in many ways. We gather today on a day of rest. Tomorrow is Labor Day, reserved for rest as well, to honor those who work and rest, rest and work. The cycles of our lives go round and round, back and forth. Sleeping and dreaming, to waking and striving. Here we honor work, and we know that community survives and thrives by our shared efforts. And here we honor rest. We know that the sacred comes to us in moments when ease and spacious breath give pause to honor the wonder of this world. Here let us come together in solidarity to honor all whose works has built us toward today, to honor all whose dreams and play and creativity have dreamed a better future, to honor the workers who fought for safety regulations, for the weekend, for the 8-hour day, for the rights that made the middle class and the living wage, to honor the workers whose contributions of unpaid labor, of child rearing, cooking, budgeting, domestic tasks of many types made their partners' work outside the home sustainable. We live because our laboring ancestors. We thrive because of their dreams while at rest. We are thankful for both the work and the rest. We honor all who have come and all who will join in the dreams and the work not yet done. May we hold a few moments of silence in rest, in that space of ease and spacious breath. May it be so. Amen. And blessed be. We enter now into ritual to bring what is on our hearts and to lay it on the altar of community and spirit. Honoring the complexities of life, bring to mind whatever grief or growth or gratitude is alive within you. Online, you are invited to share in the chat. And here in the sanctuary, you are invited forward to pick up a stone at one of the altars. Perhaps hold it for a moment with some intention and reflection, and then drop it into the water to symbolize your grief, your gratitude, or your growth. If you would like an usher to bring a stone to you, please simply raise your hand. May we now share in this ritual of community care and witness to one another's hearts. this community and by a larger love that will be with us always. Amen. Ashe, and blessed be.
So as we gather for our musical meditation, I'm going to invite you to sing along with the choir the simple chant, "I will give you rest." And then after we kind of settle into that chant, the choir is going to sing a few more parts to kind of help us with some harmonies, but we'll stay together in that melody line. So let's give it a try. So we'll sing it first, and then we'll invite you to join in. 1, 2, ready, and come unto me, and I will give you rest. Come unto me, and I will give you rest. Please join as you're able. And come unto me, and I will give you rest. Come unto me, and I will give you rest. Let's do that one more time all together. And come unto me, and I will give you rest. Come unto me, and I will give you rest. Come unto me, and I will give you rest. Come unto me, and I will give you rest. Come unto me, and I will give you rest. Come unto me, and I will give you rest. One last time together. Come unto me, and I will give you rest. Come unto me, and I will give you rest.
Welcome to our annual backpack blessing. For our blessing this morning, we are going to invite everyone here to choose a special bead. So choose one that calls to you, and we'll tell you why we've chosen these beads later on. And we'll pass them out now. I have more for the children, who I'm going to invite to come up now and join us on the carpet with their backpacks. So if you are a child here today, and if you brought your backpack, come on up and have a seat on the carpet. You can, why don't you, do you want to face everyone? Yeah, that's fine. All right. You can go ahead and choose a bead. I'll put it down. You can peek around. Pick one that calls to you. And we'll make sure all the children here have a chance to choose. So as you look at the beautiful beads and choose just the right one for you, we'll continue on. So this is an important time of year. Sometimes it's an exciting time of year, sometimes it's stressful. The start of a new school year brings with it a lot of big feelings for children and parents and teachers alike.
We call this ritual backpack blessing because we want to acknowledge the special type of work that children do. Most likely, each one of you in this room remembers the complicated work of going to school, learning math, science, reading, art, history, learning about making friends, sticking up for yourself, taking pride in your accomplishments.
At First Unitarian, our backpack blessing is not only for the children of our community. We are all doing the important work of living and growing, working, and becoming. Whatever your stage of life, we invite you to join us in this ritual.
We carry bags with us throughout the week for many reasons. If you have a bag with you and you want to have it blessed, please lift up your bag when you hear us describe you. Some of us have backpacks to carry books and homework back and forth from school. Is there anyone here who is taking their backpack back and forth to school? All right, you can lift up your backpacks.
Go ahead and lift them up. Lift them up high. Good.
Some of us, like myself, carry bags that hold computers, lunches, or other supplies to the place where we work.
Some of us carry bags that hold computers, lunches. Oh, you just did that one. Some young people carry overnight bags from one parent's house to another house and back again. Some people bring things like books or yarn and knitting needles to places where they might need to wait patiently. And some other people even have special bags for their dogs or other animals. Whatever your bag carries, please hold it up now to receive a special blessing.
Even when you are away from First Unitarian, you carry the heart of Unitarian Universalism with you wherever you go. Today, we bless these bags that accompany us on the journey.
And if your bag is very heavy, you can put it back in your lap and just hold it close to you. We bless these bags in the name of interdependence. May we always feel connected to our church community, to the Unitarian Universalist faith that we share, and to our grand universe.
We bless these bags in the name of pluralism. May we always remember to honor and respect people for who they are, cherishing their differences and what makes them unique. And may we keep our minds open to new ideas.
We bless these bags in the name of justice. May we always remember to act based on our values, to look out for others, and to include all voices in decision making.
We bless these bags in the name of transformation. May we grow and transform throughout the year, becoming more ourselves every day, and may we embrace new ideas and learning.
We bless these bags in the name of generosity. May we both experience the generosity of our community and remember to be generous with others.
We bless this bag in the name of equity. May we remember that we are all inherently worthy, and each of us, including ourselves, has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion.
And at the center of our values, holding them together, we bless this bag in the name of love. May you always remember that you are loved here at First Unitarian. May you remember to love yourself and to love each other. May you keep love at the center of all you do.
And so now, with the bead that you have chosen, this special bead you can place in your bag, will carry with it the blessings of our community.
Once you have chosen your bead, you can slip it inside the pocket of your bag or somewhere where it's easy to find. When times are hard, you can hold this bead and remember that you have a place of belonging in this community of faith. Hold your bead and remember that we bring our support to you wherever you go. And remember the UU values that we share.
Today, during the Summer Village, the children will have a chance to turn their special beads into charms that they can hang outside of their backpack or leave nestled inside for safekeeping. During Connection, we will offer the same opportunity to the grown-ups to make special beaded charms for your bags down in the Williams Gallery.
Your bag might not look any different or feel any different, but the next time you use your bag, we hope you will remember that we have added our collective blessings.
And as you pack your bag with all the tools that you need to do your daily work, think about the blessings and the values that you bring with you from your church community. May it be so. Amen. Ashe, and blessed be.
And now, holding our special beads, let's join together to sing our children out to their activities.
We bless you on your journey through, from shouting on to the white sky blue. In your joyful jumps, in your sad times too, you bless us by being you.
All that a church can be is really little more than what each member and friend brings to it: the values, the blessings, the gifts, the labor and the generosity of resources and spirit from each and every person, all combined to make the mission and transformation that is church possible. Members give regularly and intentionally through a monthly or annual financial commitment, and in worship each Sunday, all who are gathered in community are invited into a spiritual practice of generosity called the offering, to support the work and witness of Unitarian Universalism in Rochester. And half of that collection each Sunday is split with an organization doing good work in the world. Today, we share our plate with Equicenter, an equestrian and nature-based therapy center in Honeoye Falls. Their mission is to foster growth, wellness, and educational opportunities for people of all ages and abilities through the power of equestrian, horticultural, and outdoor experiences. In the spirit of abundance and generosity, our offering will now be received with gratitude.
The offertory piece today was written by David Owens, who is the music director of First Unitarian Church of Salt Lake City. When looking for some music that would fit today's service, came across this and reached out, and they were kind enough to share this music with us. So we'll be singing it with the choir, but the refrain is pretty simple to jump in, and we have lyrics up there, so as the refrain comes up, if you feel like joining in, please do so. This is "We Will Go Out."
We will go out in the world and we will say who we are.
I've been floating around this congregation since the early 1990s, and I've preached occasionally, but this is my first time leading worship up here in this space, and it's cool to be in a more intimate setting with you. I'm liking it. For those who might benefit, thank you. From those who might benefit from a visual description, I'm a white woman with short, dark hair and bluish-purple rimmed glasses, and I'm a member of Generation Jones. That means I was born between 1954 and 1965. Look it up. We are having a moment, people. Who are all my Generation Jones people? Yeah, and online, I see you. Great. I started working for our Unitarian Universalist Association in 2011. As you may know, our offices are in Boston, but I've always worked from my home here. After 5 years overseeing continuing education programs for religious professionals, I got recruited into the Office of Church Staff Finances. My job is to provide guidance to congregational leaders on a wide range of personnel-related issues like compensation, worker classification, and supervision, just to name a few. Before I go on, please know that because of this denominational role, I'm especially mindful of my relationship to the staff of this congregation. We attend conferences together, and we see each other's questions and comments on confidential professional listservs. I'm in a position where I could become privy to staff challenges arriving here at First Unitarian. So to the extent that I speak about employees of UU congregations today, I want to assure you that I'm talking writ large. But where I will be specific is that I know this congregation has done solid, intentional work on its employment practices over the years. Shout out to our key staff and lay leaders for this. Yeah, thank you. Somehow, I'm in my 24th year of working in UU professional spaces. I've gotten to know a lot of congregational ministers and staff across the continent. On the whole, they are incredibly committed, grateful to be serving an organization whose mission they care deeply about. They strive to build their skills. They graciously pivot as circumstances and expectations change. Many put in more hours than they're paid for. Ministers and often other staff will say they are called to their work. Is that not the meaning of generosity? Going beyond what's required, giving freely of oneself with an open heart. And here we are, formally declaring and celebrating generosity as one of the values at the core of Unitarian Universalism. What a blessing that those employed in our faith are modeling it, yes? But a job is a contractual commitment. You agree to do a thing, and your employer agrees to pay you. What's expected of you? How much time should it take? What monetary value should be attached to that time? As a compensation specialist, I dwell in such questions. They are complicated and culturally loaded, and that's a different sermon. And I'm sure I don't need to tell you that we're all part of an extractive economy in which profit comes ahead of people and planet. I doubt that we can name a single industry or institution that isn't setting unrealistic expectations of workers or taking advantage of undervalued labor. Increasingly, people are working hard, sometimes in multiple jobs, plus doing the unpaid labor of parenting or elder care, and they are struggling to make it all work. Maybe I'm describing some of you. Welcome to the world of white supremacy and wealth inequality, and that's a different sermon or three as well. My point for now is that there's a profound tension between the concept of employment and the concept of generosity. And this worrisome, generous laborer dynamic plays out in a particular way in occupations and organizations dedicated to the common good. Among my Facebook friends are dozens, if not hundreds, of religious professionals, as well as many who work in the arts, teaching, nursing, mental health, and the like. Last summer, I noticed that a couple of my Facebook friends posted a New York Times article entitled, "Please Don't Call My Job a Calling." Within a few days, the article had been shared multiple times, and there were innumerable comments in my feed about it. Authored by Simone Stolzoff, the piece was a teaser for his book, The Good Enough Job: Reclaiming Life from Work. In the article, Stolzoff lays bare the often concealed assumption that love of one's work may be expected to substitute for fair pay and good workplace practices. Organizations that are strongly missional come to expect their staff to do more for less, to go above and beyond. Maybe it's not intentional or explicit, but sadly, it's part of the ethos. Especially in this era of strained resources, nonprofits with mission statements full of beautiful words like justice. Organizations whose purpose is to address problems caused by societal greed and misfortune, they are as likely as any to be guilty of exploiting labor. Call it irony or hypocrisy. So here are some insights from Simone Stolzoff's book, The Good Enough Job. First, in theory, work is transactional. You work to make money so you can enjoy your life and take care of your family. But increasingly, work has become an end in itself. Workism is the idea that our work is not only about paying our bills, it's a source of identity, meaning, and fulfillment. Stolzoff places a good amount of the blame for this shift on that famous book, What Color is Your Parachute?, which originally came out in the 70s and remains a bestseller. The author, Richard Nelson Bowles, was actually a member of the Episcopal clergy, so no doubt he had a genuine sense of the importance of finding work to which one feels called. Stolzoff discusses vocational awe, a term coined by librarian Fobazi Itar. Some occupations are seen as inherently worthy, right? Noble professions. The people drawn to them, it is assumed, do what they do as a labor of love, a sacred duty. What an honor to do work that allows you to make a difference in the lives of others, right? But that leads to overfunctioning, and then the organization comes to rely on people's willingness to overcommit. You may have heard of the term enmeshment. Relationships are about being connected, right, to each other. Enmeshment means being too connected to another person. Your identity becomes caught up with the other person's. You put their needs ahead of your own. Your happiness and self-esteem become wrapped up in the status of the relationship. Enmeshment, Stolzoff explains, can also apply to one's work, career enmeshment. Boundaries become blurred between self and job as your work fuses with your personal identity. Career enmeshment, to be clear, happens in many professions, not just those awe-filled ones. It's like the business lady in our opening story this morning trying to convince the young woman to work harder, only so that she can pursue what she'd prioritized in the first place. It's easy for anyone to get lost in our culture of capitalism and workism, but career enmeshment feels especially precarious as it applies to those working for a better world. If your job is to combat climate change, to heal the hurting, to guide young minds, to foster people's connection to the divine, well, my gosh, what could possibly take precedence over that? Okay, 2 thoughts. 1, loving your job is better than hating it. I'm not here to tell you that loving your work is inherently bad. And 2, reasonable trade-offs are okay. We make these calculations all the time. If you're in a financial situation that allows it, you may very well choose to take a job that pays less because you feel a strong alignment with an organization's mission. That's fantastic. Go for it. And if you're making trade-offs, remember, that means you have the privilege of options. Not everyone has that. But loving your work and accepting trade-offs makes it all the more critical to monitor yourself. Watch out that your labor of love doesn't tip over into enmeshment. Pay attention if you begin to feel frustration creeping in following that clear-minded trade-off you made last year. How do we begin to unwind this whole thing? We hear a lot about self-care. We're taught to believe that the remedy for poor work-life balance is yoga, running, and kale smoothies. And they might help you, but that puts the onus on you personally for a systemic problem. In their book, Burnout, sisters Emily and Amelia Nagoski say, the cure for burnout is not self-care. It's all of us caring for each other. Easier said than done, no question. Still, we should seek ways to hold each other in care. Consider what you might do for family, friends, or coworkers when you notice them becoming generous laborers to the detriment of themselves or their loved ones. Simone Stolzoff builds up to the systemic issues, too. He quotes Anne Helen Peterson, author and speaker about the future of work. Peterson says, the responsibility for better culture lies with the workplace itself, as it is uniquely equipped to construct the sort of guardrails that can actually protect employees from the freight train of work. Yet Stolzoff points out that even institutional efforts are limited. For instance, a liberal vacation policy won't help if your workload doesn't accommodate taking the time off, right? Through the hundreds of interviews he did for his book, Stolzoff says, I found that those with the healthiest relationships to their work all had a strong sense of who they were when they weren't working. I, too, did some interviews, facilitating groups of UU professionals to explore some of the themes of Stolzoff's New York Times article. In those conversations, I heard a lot about the love of the work. I also heard about exhaustion and disillusionment. Most participants said that their profession was a large component of their identity. When I polled participants on the 3 best things about their work from a list of 9 or 10, the top response was, "I enjoy making a positive difference in people's lives." 64% chose that. Choosing their top 3 professional struggles, 57% named working too much on my plate. Generous laborers indeed. And I bet some of you can relate. You can nod or raise your hand if you want. If you want to talk about these things with me after the service, you can join me downstairs in a few minutes. The motivation for Labor Day came as activists fought for 8-hour workdays, 5-day work weeks, and protection from dangerous conditions. In so many ways, we've made progress on employment protections since the first federal Labor Day in 1894. But let's not ignore the oppressive, abusive industries in the U.S. and around the world on which we rely for food, clothing, technology, and much more. Let us further recognize that we're being held back collectively by societal norms playing in our heads, telling us that our worth is tied to our work, that we are valued because we are productive. And when we are concerned about someone being a bit too generous with their labor, maybe even seeing them backsliding to the 12-hour workday, 7-day work week that our ancestors went to great lengths to end, let us open for them a community parachute of many colors, offering them a safe, gentle landing into other sources of meaning and fulfillment. Amen? Amen.
Please raise and body your spirit as we join together singing "For All That Is Our Life."
Join us for more spiritual connection in community with connection programs after the worship service. As Jan said, she'll be leading a conversation about generous laborers and the same topic of the service in the Susan B. Anthony Lounge. The backpack charms crafting will be directly downstairs in Williams Gallery. In the the workroom, you can help get out the vote by writing postcards to get out the vote for a very important election in November. And if you are a Soul Matters facilitator, I will be gathering with you in room 110 for our seasonal gathering of Soul Matters facilitators. Please join us now in extinguishing the chalice with our unison words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. Peace we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Today's words of benediction come from the beautiful choir anthem we heard. We will go out into the world and we'll say who we are. We will lift our voices strong and face the tide. There is one prevailing justice, and it's ours to uphold. We will go out into the world. May it be so.